lives. I mean, all the retro releases and stuff that's coming out shows that I think we've reached the points where technology for games is about as good as designers will ever need it to be. So all we're really doing is updating the graphics, and not everyone's got the kind of money, all that sort of thing. So there's a rise of popularity of the retro games and the casual games. It's like we're taking everything we've learned in the last 20 years and reviewing it all. And yeah, I guess it remains to be seen what will come out of that. We're seeing some enormous popularity on the Wii front, of course, for non-hardcore gamers. Obviously, I wouldn't be very happy if that became the trend, because we're not all grandmas. We want to go, I'm playing piano! No, it's hard to call. Chaos theory, you can't predict the future.
Other question?
You mentioned something about a soul in games, and just a question in terms of Smash Brothers. As a game, I will say that I do enjoy it, and it is something that a lot of people have said that Nintendo's put a lot of love into it, poured a lot of their sort of, we want you to love Nintendo, we put all these sort of characters and stuff. So in that regard, do you still see Smash Brothers as that pathetic game it is, or do you see that soul that Nintendo put behind that game?
Well, I guess if there's any game that represents any soul Nintendo has, it's going to be that one. But the fact that they've made, how many is it? 3, 4?
3.
That makes me cynical. I mean, how many souls have you got? What is that?
Yahtzee, you've got a point talking about your reviews and such, Zero Punctuation.
I like how you said reviews.
But they're fantastic, they're entertaining, and they're just a point, they're on board. The thing is though, have you found a point now where if you actually like a game and you want to praise it, you put it up and you find that it gets, however many less 1,000 downloads because you're not just shit canning it?
So you're saying, am I concerned that saying I like a game makes less people buy it?
Less people look at your...
Yeah, not in terms of game sales or anything like that, but I guess the crux of the question is, do you find your reviews where you're less likely to enjoy a game and put that forward to get more games? Do you think that is...
It's not really a factor of my opinion on a game that makes the reviews popular. Sometimes it's because there was some really good lines in there. Mostly it's down to the actual popularity of the game. I mean, the biggest amounts of comments I've gotten after a review were for Halo 3 and Smash Brothers Brawl, and for the reader mail follow-up to the Smash Brothers Brawl one. Because I guess it's about provoking debate. The ones that provoke debate are the ones that get looked at the most, I guess. Maybe it's less interesting to see the time that I like a game, I don't know. But it's worth noting that when I said I liked Painkiller, I was informed that the sales for that went mad. Something like it tripled in 4 hours after I put the review up. Witness my power.
Question down the front here.
Yeah. So if the renaissance is coming for games, do you think it's coming for criticism? You touched on a little bit about how you don't like game reviewers are breaking things down. Do you think it's maturing enough now?
It is depressing that a person who does nothing more interesting than being honest with his reviews can have such a novelty that it'll become really popular. But there is a place for reviews. There's reviews and there's criticism. Reviews are like, they're like consumer advice, telling you, is it worth looking at? And criticism is more discussing the game, the impact of the game, what it's trying to say after the fact. There's room for both, I think. I mean, the point I made was that the overarching question is, do I care about a game? And that, you can answer that with a yes or a no. But people are going to ask for more detail than that. So that's where criticism breaks down, I guess.
David?
I'm just interested that if you get invited one day to be the soul of a game, so you are sitting at the other side, do you think it might compromise your position as a critic? Because the realities of game development are obviously greyer than you would assume in this.
Yeah. there's obviously a lot of complicated stuff going on that I'm not part of. All I can do is at the moment, give a response to the output of like months or years of slog. But I like to think being a critic is in a similar sort of mindset to game development. I've developed a few games of my own, and I try to improve. And I work with an independent team as a game designer. And I like to think it helps. Being able to look at a game and see what's working and what doesn't. Sometimes I like to think of myself as secondary QA, picking up on what the last one missed.
Hi Ben, I've been looking at games for kids in primary schools. There's a big movement for that now in Queensland, and we're wondering what, in your opinion, having played games all your life, makes a game a great story for a young child, particularly boys who are reluctant writers. You know, the qualities that make the game engaging for kids to keep wanting to learn.
That's a tricky one. So you're asking what I think would make a good story for primary school children in the game?
Or what makes it better for them?
What makes it better? Well, I don't know. I'm not a primary school child, obviously.
Like grabbing their attention. Yeah, you said, hang on. I've been writing.
Oh, God.
What makes it... Sorry, you said that you're looking at what makes them care about the game, and have you found things growing up that have really made you care about a game?
I think when you're growing up as a kid, you tend to care about games more. Because usually that's all you're exposed to. I mean, I have great fondness for the old Dizzy series of games on the Commodore 64, and looking back, probably, yeah, it's great. For children, I guess it's, I don't know, simple morality sort of tales. I don't know. I hate kids personally. When I was one, I hated myself. Is that what it's out? Yeah, I think, yeah, it's its own thing. Knowing what kids like. A bit too eclectic for me, I think.
Yes, Daniel.
Ben, what relationship do you have with a lot of the game developers?
I get on pretty well with most game developers. I mean, what I'm finding is that when I meet game developers, especially the low-level ones, they're always saying things like, that's exactly what we said to the project lead, to the publishers. They're generally in agreement, they're generally good sports about it. Like, I often get emails from them saying, yeah, you got it. And of course, like I said, I like to think criticism is closer to game development than a lot of other things. I've met a lot of the game developers in Brisbane. It's a very close-knit community, and numbers of my best friends among them. I went to GDC, rubbed shoulders with a lot of them there. I was flown over to visit Valve last year, and I did the Orange Box review, and they're all very decent people. Like, there's nothing wrong with people, is what I was saying. Individuals are fine. It's just groups that tend to divide the intelligence between however many there are.
Well, my question isn't on the lead-in. I'm a math teacher. I'm looking for tools for teaching math. Now, as a math teacher, I also enjoy a good game. One of them I happen to like is the Silent Hunter series. The Silent Hunter 3 is excellent in its computation of navigation, trying to find the ship, trying to compute the torpedo. I would love to have the developers of these games develop something that helps us teach trig in high school, as something that would adapt it, that they would give out as a promotion for their game. Now, how can I approach the developers of this game to give us a condensed, small, little teaser of their game, which would be superb for engaging students in learning how to do basic trig?
Well, I guess you talk to them. They're humans. They're human beings.
Yeah, exactly. Now, who, in your experience with the game industry, you've walked through the forest, what would be a good line of attack, good line to go and introduce? Just come in, hey, show blow out here at one of 1 million players of this game, can you please create something for my classroom?
Well, I think a lot of it depends on the